President Trump wants resolution and peace between Russia and Ukraine. And it reminds me, the people who are pushing for the Russian-Ukrainian war to escalate, it reminds me of all these people I debate on college campuses where there is no depth. And again, this is an open invite. Adam Kinzinger, you're welcome on this program. I will give you uninterrupted time to tell me why Russia is an enemy, why we should be firing missiles into the interior of Russia, why we should be fighting Russia, why we should be funding it. Meanwhile, our southern border is wide open. Explain to me in clear moral terms why this is a good idea. People say that Trump is an evil maniac, yet Trump is actually the true idealist. Trump believes that nations can make agreements to avoid conflict. These war worshipers in D.C., they love this. The breaking news today is that we are firing American-made missiles into Russia. The idealists in Washington are the ones obsessed with killing their enemies. But we shouldn't be surprised because they're just as hysterical about their domestic enemies. Now, this is a video that President Trump made during his campaign, but it does show the moral clarity of President Trump, of which he deserves infinite credit for. A further escalation of the Russian-Ukrainian war is bad for everybody. It's bad for Ukraine. It's bad for Russia. And let's be perfectly honest, Ukraine is going to become a vassal state of Western private equity. They are going to pillage and plunder and rape the interior of Ukraine for its natural minerals, for its grain, for its abundant resources. They don't care about the Ukrainian people. They are wrecking a generation of Ukraine. And again, I just want to repeat, imagine if America was receiving missile fire from an adversary brought to you by the Russian Federation. Imagine if Cuba was firing missiles into Florida made by Russia and Russia was supplying them. How would we respond? And before I play cut 26, and I've said this before, and now I can speak more freely because it's after the election, because everything was taken out of context and clipped, and it was just so sensitive. So let me just say this as clearly as possible. The American foreign policy establishment is betting on the restraint of Vladimir Putin. The entire escalation is all hinging on the fact that Putin is the most sane actor in this equation. They actually think that Putin is really, really stable. It hinges on the fact they know he's not Hitler and that Putin doesn't want nuclear war. Now, of course, the problem is unintended consequences. It's incredibly risky. But let me just repeat, the people in D.C., they'll whisper, oh, Putin won't respond. Putin won't respond. Putin won't respond. And deep down, there is a portion of the American foreign policy project, and many of whom are Republicans and Republican senators that represent you in states like North Dakota, in states like South Dakota, in states like Kansas, in states like Arkansas, in states like Oklahoma, where they think nuclear war is no big deal. This is President Trump's moral clarity, a video he shot during the campaign, play cut 26.
We have never been closer to World War III than we are today under Joe Biden. A global conflict between nuclear-armed powers would mean death and destruction on a scale unmatched in human history. It would be nuclear Armageddon. Nothing is more important than avoiding that nightmare. We will avoid it. We must be absolutely clear that our objective is to immediately have a total cessation of hostilities. All shooting has to stop. This is the central issue. We need peace without delay.
It is very possible that by electing President Trump, we might have saved the world. Imagine if Russia knew things were getting even worse for the next 4 years. Imagine if Russia knew that Kamala Harris was coming in and there was no end in sight. At least for now, Russia knows someone they can work with is taking office. And I want you to think about how insane this is. So we are firing missiles towards Russia And then our calculus is that, well, Russia is actually really measured in their response. So we're going to keep on provoking them by sending American-made missiles at their homeland, and they won't respond because Putin is this really balanced figure, even though we say he's Hitler. And then Russia says, guys, hold back, don't respond with nuclear weapons, even though our homeland is under attack because Donald Trump is coming. It is not an exaggeration to say the planet might have been saved by the fact that we won the election 2 weeks ago today.